let's start with the problem itself. You know, a lot of technologies are born out of this desire to solve a nagging pain point. Tell me about the problem that OrthoBrain seeks to solve, and how that motivated you to develop the platform.
It's an excellent question, and the landscape around orthodontics has really changed dramatically from the time that I first became an orthodontist back in the 80s until now. Back in the 80s, we always thought of orthodontics as being elective, something that wealthy people could do just for the heck of it, so they would look a little bit better. But recently, we found out that your peers rate you as less intelligent, less likely to succeed, and you are more likely to be bullied when you don't have a good smile. You may be astounded to know that you're even rated as being less trustworthy. That's a serious problem because that really gets in the way of people having the opportunity to succeed. There are so many people on our planet that haven't been afforded the opportunity to have orthodontics. Motley Fool had done some research for a different company and found that there are over 500 million people right now in need of orthodontics globally. So it's a huge market. You might say, well, why doesn't everybody just go to the orthodontist? But wait, there aren't enough orthodontists. So the problem that we want to solve is the access and the affordability to orthodontics. In wealthy communities, you're 15 times more likely to have orthodontics. In most of our country, we don't even have an orthodontist. 65% of the counties don't have an orthodontist in the US, and there are entire countries that don't have orthodontists that are specially trained. So it's a huge problem. The demand has even gotten greater, Freddie, over the past 2 years during the pandemic. We'll call it the Zoom 6, are in front of everybody, and they're much more sensitive. So the demand for orthodontics is increasing. The amount of orthodontics being performed has probably doubled in the past 8 years or so. And orthodontists can't solve that problem. We can't solve the accessibility and the affordability. And so there have been some movements in the direct-to-consumer market, and in my opinion, it came out a little bit too soon. We need to have a doctor involved. So OrthoBrain is out there to solve the lack of access and affordability of orthodontics, and we want to give everybody the opportunity to succeed in life, and a smile is an essential part of that, according to the research.
So the lack of orthodontists in various regions and things like that prompted you to develop this system to serve dental practitioners. Tell me about the gap then that the dentists are trying to fill, and that's a pun totally intended there.
The dentists have the opportunity to fill a big part of the gap because there are 20 times more general dentists out there than there are orthodontists. So by having 20 times more dentists, that helps solve the geographic barrier. When you have a lot more providers, that also helps drive down costs, because when there's scarcity, you have higher fees. So in those two ways, the general dentist can solve a big part of the problem. You might wonder, well, why don't all the dentists just do the orthodontics? The trouble is that a go-alone dentist, somebody without orthodontic education in the form of a 3-year residency, doesn't have the education, the knowledge, or the experience, and so the outcomes aren't going to be predictable, and they're not going to be nearly at the same level as an orthodontist. So I'll put it this way. In general dentistry education, the 4 years of dental school, there's a paucity of orthodontic education, hands-on experience, let alone knowing some of the workflows and business optimization that go along with adding orthodontics to your business. So they solve it using OrthoBrain, because OrthoBrain essentially puts a virtual orthodontist alongside the general dentist.